Hi, I'm Miriam Joy and welcome to my studio. A lot of you know Halloween time is my favorite time of year. I love doing the crafts, I love the richness of the colors, and I love just all the different fun things out there. So I came across a little pumpkin at the Dollar Tree, and this little guy is really cool because he has these flashing colors in him and lights up. So I thought, what could we do with him that we could have a lot of fun with? So we're going to turn him into kind of a little pumpkin monster. And the first thing I'm going to start, we'll work on his leaves. And I'm going to cut them out of craft foam. And I'm just going to do 2 leaf shapes. Real easy. Got our first one, and let's get one more here. And I like to use the foam with the wax design. You also could use it with your permanent markers because the wax will work on it unlike felt. Felt is too absorbent. Don't try to put that on any of our wax design items. They'll just suck right in. Another thing we need is a little log. You want it standing up a little bit, and this one's slanting a little bit. You want it as flat as possible as well. So we're going to start by putting some green on our leaves, our wax design. I'm going to pull this in a little bit closer here. And the trick with wax design and fun foam is not to press hard. And this is Crayola crayon. If you're not familiar with my process, go over to my website at miriamjoy.com where I sell all the wax design tools, and you see a YouTube link, and hop on over there, and the first YouTube video that you will see will be how to use or do the basis of wax design. And you get this puffier, bright 3D color because you're just using the straight Crayola crayons. The great thing about the Crayola crayons is it always stays bright and colorful. And we have a whole bunch of items that we apply it to. And you can put it on both sides. On this one, I'm just going to go ahead and do this just on the front only, and we're going to let that dry. And now I'm going to animate our pumpkin's face. I'm going to give him a little bit more personality than what he has. We're just going to bring out his eyes and everything. And I'm using the black now, and I'm using the number 1 tool, the smaller end. And I'm just going to pull up from each side of his eyes, and I'm going to give him a dot in the middle, and then I'm going to do a dot, or excuse me, a stroke along the bottom. Now this isn't quite as smooth as some of the other wax that we have worked with. So don't be afraid if it's not quite going on as smooth as you think it should be. But what this does is just really helps bring him to life a little bit more. And in between the dot or the strokes, I'm just kind of adding some dots. And there's no right or wrong, just how I happen to be doing it. Finish this around his mouth here. I'm going to add a couple dots and spots where I think they need him. It doesn't need it at all of them. I'm going to try and give him a smile line, and that'll just help define and make him a little bit happier. A little bit there. And I'm going to try and give him a little bit more emotion up here on his eyes as well. Let me do one more line out there. Another thing you could come in and do is you could do some yellow strokes down each crease to help make those lines a little bit more visible if you wanted to. So we're going to cover up his stem because his stem is really plastic looking. And I've got the plastic thing from what they put the tag on was stuck under here. It's not going to matter anyway. We're just going to leave it in. I'm going to use paper twist. I've been using that a lot in my crafts this year to make the stems. And it just makes the stem look more organic, more like a real stem. And if you're a craft person, you can use paper twist. If you coil or do different things like that, you could use paper rush or paper core. Those are just a nicer kind of paper twist. They're just a lot better quality and more even than your paper twist. But your craft paper twist is perfect. It used to be in the 80s and 90s, the twist was really big, and they had craft books just on paper twist and how to make flowers and wreaths and all that kind of stuff out of just the twist. Alright, so I did 2 pieces. I'm going to use my glue gun. Now keep my glue gun on the low setting. Realized that I didn't need to have it on the high setting as I thought I did for most of my crafts. I don't know why I've done that over the years. So sure burn yourself a heck of a lot less if you have it on the lower setting. And for usually what we use, it works just as well. Now we're going to come in and cover up the back of it and just bring it around that other one. So we're just going to start to twist this together now. And I've really liked branching these off into 2 pieces this year. I've also done a pumpkin that I call my magical pumpkin that's out of the Dollar Tree pumpkins or the dollar store pumpkins. And it looks really pretty. You never believe after you got done that it came from a dollar store. There's just no way. So we cut those at an angle, and we're twisting those out kind of to a point so we get that look. Isn't that cool? Now we've got to be careful with this little guy because we can't glue him on because we need to be able to turn him on and off with our button. So we've got to keep that in mind when we're working with him. So we're going to glue these leaves on. To our little pumpkin head here. When you're working with hot glue gun, it's better to keep it on low if you're working with wax design too, because you can remelt your crayon. Not even realize you're doing it till all of a sudden you're going, what the heck is that melted for? And I'm also going to take some floral wire that I have just kind of curved around, usually with a pencil or something like that. We're going to glue that into place, and it just gives it that extra little something. And I forgot to bring my little spider, but our spider is the little rings, the little Halloween rings where you get a bag of, oh gosh, 50 or more for $1. So we basically got this done. One thing I forgot to mention is you really should go and varnish them. And you could varnish everything on here, maybe except for the floral wire as well. This serves a couple of really good purposes. And I just spray varnish it really, really well. It helps keep the glitter all on, so you don't have this going on. And it helps with the wax. So don't forget to spray varnish it, then put your wire on. So we're going to come over to our little stump here. And the first thing we're going to do is put our moss on. So I'm going to put something underneath this, so once I get this all over I don't have a mess. And I got this moss and it doesn't clump together. It's all really, really loose. I'd rather have some that clump together. And we want to kind of keep this flat, because remember our pumpkin is just going to be sitting on here. It is not going to be doing very much. We just want to give it kind of a woodsy feel to it. We're going to be putting our little skeleton hands on, and I think I'm going to put some moss on my hands as well. Now our little skeleton hands I found at Michael's. They were in a bag of 10 or 12. They were $2.99, so take your coupon in and get those, and you can make all kinds of fun crafts. I'm doing all kinds of fun things with them this year. So I want to kind of see where I want to position my hands here and kind of look like they're attached to the pumpkin, but they're also attached to the log. And like I said, I think I'm going to put a little bit of moss on the hands as well. And then we're going to hot glue these on. And I want one kind of halfway coming up. You don't want your glue to show, so I'm going to put some moss and you need some of the part of the hand that can go straight to the tree stump, not just the moss, or he's not going to stay on really well. Okay, so we've kind of got him going. Here for the second guy. I'm going to put him just right above that little knot right there. And you can use trees with bark. This one has bark, this one doesn't. There's no right or wrong on that one. This one I'm going to put on first and then throw some moss around it on the parts that's kind of showing. And depending on how your hand is how where you're going to be able to attach it. For some reason I was doing better a minute ago, to your log. Get some moss in there too. And keep that into mind when you're trying to look at it, because the more it sets down on the log, the easier that's going to be to glue on and stay on there. Okay, so we've got our little base going, and we want to think about little creepy crawlers and everything coming in here too. I used a centipede. I'm going to use a scorpion and a spider on this one. And just whatever kind of creepy little critter, something like it came out of the lagoon or something like that. Give that look kind of to it. So let's see where pumpkin head is going to sit. And I think I'm going to glue that guy coming up from the bottom there. Kind of right there. And I think I'm just going to tuck my spider in. We'll probably go back and glue him some more. But that is our little pumpkin monster. And remember, we don't want to glue him down because we want to be able to turn him on and off. And I'm going to have to glue, just to make him more even, some more moss right on there, just so he'll sit real good. But for any of our wax products, just jump on over to miriamjoy.com and you will see them available there, as well as the YouTube link that takes you over to more fun Halloween YouTubes. Thank you for joining me today. God bless.